The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for attending today's webinar, Digital ReeL, Affordable, Accurate, Easy Microfilm Conversion. Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started in just a minute. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending today's webinar, Digital ReeL, Affordable, Accurate, Easy Microfilm Conversion. Before we get started, I just want to give you a little bit of background on BEAL's document management. BEAL's has been providing document management solutions and business process automation to clients throughout the United States for more than 75 years. Some of our clients include the Buffalo Bills, Roswell Park Cancer Institute, and Borden Dairy. We also have a variety of well-known industry partners like Kodak, Cygen, and of course, Digital ReeL. Today's webinar presenter is Brad Penfold from Digital ReeL. If you have any questions throughout the presentation today, please type them into your question chat box so Brad can address them at the end. Give us a couple seconds to switch control and we'll get started.
Good morning. Victoria, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Thank you for that introduction. My name is Brad Penfold. I'm with BMI Imaging Systems. We're located in California. A little bit of background on BMI Imaging Systems. Much like BEAL's, we've been in the industry a long time, not quite back to 1939, but we got our start in the mid-1950s. And back in those days, the primary business we were in was microfilming county records, mostly land records. And we filmed for many, many years until the middle 90s when technology came out to be able to scan and convert film. So roughly 20 years ago, we started to scan our clients' microfilm primarily here in the Northern California area. And over that first 10 years, we realized that there were some inherent problems with converting microfilm to digital. One problem was making sure that all images and being able to guarantee that all images from the microfilm were converted. A second problem was to ensure legibility of that microfilm and those images coming from the film. So we struggled with that for, like I said, a number of years, and back in about 2005, so about 10 years ago, we developed a very unique product called Digital ReeL. It's really a new paradigm in microfilm scanning, and I'm going to show you a demonstration today. I know we have a number of people on the line, and as Victoria said, as questions come up, feel free to type those in. This is going to be essentially a monologue for the next 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll have some time at the end for some Q&A. So Digital ReeL was developed about 10 years ago. Like I said, it's a new paradigm in microfilm scanning. It's very popular. There are hundreds of clients now across the country, in fact, across the world, that are using this product, from small clients that have just a few fiche or a few rolls of film to clients that have 40 or 50,000 rolls of film. So I'm going to go into the demonstration now, and again, I'm going to show you Digital ReeL. I'm going to show you some of the applications, the sample applications I have with regard to the conversion of roll film, the conversion of microfiche, and the conversion of aperture cards. So I'm going to go through these applications fairly quickly and show you some of the functionality of the product, and then afterwards we'll get into a Q&A session. And bear in mind, one of the things that we would like to do, a next step perhaps, if there's interest following this demonstration, we'd love to get some of your film or fiche directly. Let's get it scanned into Digital ReeL, and we can do a separate go-to-meeting at some point in the near future to really show you what we can do with your film or fiche. So Digital ReeL is a browser-based product. It can be implemented within your own client site, or we also offer a hosting service. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And once I do that, I'm presented with a number of data sets that are available to me as my user. So everyone has a unique username and login, and they will only see data sets that are available to them. So real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and go into a data set called Retrieval. And when I log in, I'm presented, or when I click on the data set, I'm presented with document types. And again, this product is going to emulate very closely to how you retrieve from film today or from fiche today. I think that's one of the things you'll pull away from this demonstration today, is how closely this product emulates exactly what you're doing today. And that, in the end, is truly the goal here. So my document type are Retrieval rolls. I have them further broken down by year. I can click on a year and then see a number of rolls. In this case, there's only one. And I can click on that roll, and now it'll open up in Digital ReeL. And very quickly, it opens up the first image. In the background, I can click, and it opens up Film View. So real quickly, you can see how this product differentiates itself from traditional filming, traditional film scanning, which is to create individual images and index those images. What Digital ReeL does is creates a digital replica of the roll, which I can now right-click my mouse and click and drag the roll of film. So it's just like a reader printer. I can also use my mouse to zoom up the images. And at the bottom, it shows that I'm looking at page 5. Very quickly, I can type in 555, hit my enter key, and it'll take me out to that image out there on the roll. Now, these are just some public record informations here in California. I can zoom up my image to view it just as I would on a reader printer. I can scroll around the document. Again, clicking on one image brings it to the foreground, which I can then again zoom up if I need. I can also zoom in a particular portion just by drawing a box. So very quickly you can see how we've accomplished one of our goals during a conversion process, and that is, did we convert everything? And with Digital ReeL, we convert the entire roll of film beginning to end, all the flashers, all the targets, any blips that are on the film. Everything is captured, and that's obviously a primary goal of any conversion. There's no way to retire your film or your reader printers if you can't absolutely guarantee that you have all the images. I haven't met one customer yet that said, Brad, yeah, we're good with 98% of the images if you can get us those. So this truly differentiates this product from any other traditional conversion. During a traditional conversion, it's imperative that you compare each converted image back to the film itself to make sure that you got them all. So the second primary goal of Digital ReeL was to ensure legibility. And what you can see here, that we've got some shaded area on these documents that make it very hard to read in bitonal mode. Digital ReeL gives you the ability to view the image in bitonal mode and then go to the top tools, top left, and I can click Enhance, which brings up the grayscale version of the image. I'll zoom this up a little bit. Now obviously we can read that data in that shaded area much better. Not only do we give you access to the grayscale image, but also you can now adjust it. So clicking on the next toolbar over, I can manipulate the image, deskew, despeckle, change polarity, etc. And more importantly, I can change brightness and contrast of this image. And I'll go the opposite direction to lighten up that box a little bit more. So you can see how valuable Digital ReeL is with poor film, because you can access the enhanced image and then adjust that image to your liking at the time you need it. And obviously at this point, now we have additional tools up to the left where we can email the document out, we can print it. There are a number of save options, save it as a TIFF, a JPEG, a PDF, etc. So we have located the document we want, we've printed it, and now we're back to the film, and if we have some other roll of film that we need to go to, we can certainly do it at that point. Also, images can be selected. I'm going to hit my control key here and do some control clicking, and I can click and drag, click, shift, control click multiple images here and create a multiple page PDF document. So you can see at the top here, I have now 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, etc. And now I can save this 4-page document out as one of those file types as well, or I can print it. So it makes it very easy to find what you're looking for and to make your prints and go on about your work. All right, so that's essentially Digital ReeL. It's a very simple concept. It again emulates how you're retrieving from film today. I now want to show you some additional functionality that is into the product that can make your life really easy with regard to accessing older film. One point I want to stress though right now is, in addition to those two primary goals of ensuring capture and maximizing legibility, one other very important aspect of any film conversion is you want to have it be as cost effective as possible. We all understand that over time, it's likely that only a small number of images from a microfilm library will actually ever need to be retrieved. Perhaps less than 1%. In some instances, like land records, maybe we're talking 5 or 10%. But the vast majority of these images on rolls of film will never be looked at. So that's why Digital ReeL can ensure capture, can maximize legibility, and can convert your film at a reasonable price and still allow the user to make those adjustments at the time they need those. So let's go back to our data sets clicking top left, and I'm going to go and show you now some additional capabilities that Digital ReeL has with regard to search. So I'm going to do a land record sample, and that's with a county here called Vermilion County, and I've got some deeds and I've got some index books. So people who are familiar with recorders around the country, if you're looking for an old deed, you've got to go to the courthouse, go into the recorder's office, generally go to the index books or the film that contains the index books. You got to type it or search for a name and a year and then find a book and a page. It's a real task to try to go and find information about an older deed. Digital ReeL makes this very easy when we employ OCR technology to provide full text searching. So to the top right, I'm simply going to type in, let's say, my grandfather's name, Abe Ackerman, and I start to get results of text that's contained on those rolls of film. And I found one text search result where it found Abe Ackerman. I simply click on the link, and it's going to open up the roll of film that contains that image where it found Abe Ackerman. This happens to be an index page, and I'll zoom this up for you to see. So it found Abe Ackerman in these old, nicely typed index books. Now realize, please, that to really get full value out of full text searching, we really need typed text. Handwriting is really not accurate at this time. But what this tells me now is that Abe Ackerman was the grantee or the purchaser of a piece of property back in those days. The WD here stands for warranty deed. And if I want to now see this actual deed, it's on a completely different roll of film. And my clue to finding it is here where it says 232 and 353. If I go to the top of the page, that's the book and page where this information resides, this warranty deed. So I want to find that deed, and I want to find it quickly. So Digital ReeL gives you the ability to the top right where there's the magnifying glass. I'm going to go ahead and click on search, and I first want to go to book 232. So I type that in, and it found a deed book 232, and now I want to go to page 353 in that book, and I just type it in and I hit the enter. It's going to release that roll of film, bring up the next roll of film, take me to page 353 in that book, and sure enough, here is that warranty deed for Abe Ackerman, and I've found it that quickly. Many of our clients across the country are able to put this information out on the web, sell subscriptions to it, so perhaps people can, from the comfort of their own home, be finding these deeds on a regular basis very quickly. They don't have to get out of their chair, they don't have to leave their home, go down to the courthouse. They can pull up this information very quickly. So that's one of the applications of this technology that has really been quite successful for us across the country. Here in California, there are 50-some states. I think we have this technology in nearly 40 of those counties. So I'm now going to go back to my application screen, and let's now show another use of that OCR technology. I'm going to show it to you now in some newspapers. So again, our biggest clients are what we refer to as known users of microfilm, and that is colleges, universities, newspapers, land records, court records, insurance, financial. Those over the last 50 years are all really big known users of microfilm. The federal government obviously is a big known user. So I've got a few rolls of film here from a number of different publications, and now I'm going to show you how that OCR technology works very well in, say, a college environment or a newspaper environment. Let's go ahead and search these three newspapers for Oswald. So I get 35 text search results for the name Oswald, obviously from November of 1963. And I can scroll down through these and look at them. It gives me some context in and around where it found the text that I'm searching for. And it lists it by priority. So in this particular case on this page, it found 28 occurrences of the word Oswald. And I can go ahead and click on that. And it will open up that roll of film and display that newspaper page and article where it found Oswald. One thing you'll notice right here, previously I had put a redaction on the page. So Digital ReeL also gives users with the appropriate rights the ability to redact pages. And that redaction tool is right up here to the left, and it's the draw tool. And at this point, I can click on the draw tool and draw a box over any particular portion of the page that I want to redact. It will redact that page. I can see through it because I'm an administrator, so that makes it really easy for administrators within the systems to control these redactions, and anyone else logging in is not going to see those redactions. They're going to see the black box. These can be temporary redactions or these can be permanent redactions. All right, going back again, I now want to show you how we deal with other film formats. For instance, microfiche. I've got some fiche samples here. And again, what I'm going to show you is a typical land record search for deeds or mortgages, etc., in a recorder's office. If I do an index search and I know I want to go to book 2330, I can search on that in the top right. I do get a hit where it found book 2330. And again, now I can type in the page I'm looking for instance, 33, hit the enter key, and now it's loaded a microfiche. And it's taken me to, you can see at the bottom here, book 2330, page 33, and displayed the page for me. And in the background, I'm going to click, and now we have the entire microfiche that has been scanned and converted, and all of the images are all framed nicely so you can do that sort of searching I just showed. Now, notice that we're also capturing the title strip, and that's obviously very important. In fiche conversion, you want to retain the connection between that metadata and the images on the fiche. Notice also that we scan the entire fiche regardless of whether it's full. And oftentimes we see applications where maybe it's a health record or an insurance policy or something, and the fiche is half full. It might only have 34 images on it. And 10 years from now, if I create 34 images from that fiche, how does that person know there weren't 35? With Digital Fiche and Digital ReeL, you're able to see the exact way that the fiche was converted, and you can, everything is viewable. I can actually click and draw a box across multiple images on the fiche and display it and view it. And this just shows that everything on the fiche is in fact captured. All that black space in between the images is all there. Now, we also have full text searching with fiche as well. I'm going to do a search for, this is like a tax collector application. I'm going to search for an APN 643-514-41-00. I get a hit, and I can go ahead and click on that hit. It's going to load the page, display the fiche behind. So this is some tax collector data from one of the counties here in California, again, all public information, but I was able to search the APN number for a particular parcel in that county. So this is COMFiche, Computer Output Microfiche. You'll find it a lot out there in the marketplace. Typically, you know, it's obviously all computer data that was output to fiche, and those original tapes that the data resided on are all gone. So many people find themselves only with this fiche left, but they want to be able to find things on it quickly. So that OCR technology allowing for full search really helps that come to be. All right, moving on, I want to show a couple of other applications. Obviously, there are some aperture cards that have been created out there in the world as well. Basically, the IBM punch card with an aperture that has a microfilm image in it. I've got some samples here that I'm going to pull up. So it displays the image. Typically, these images are larger. They can be, you know, D size or 24 by 36 inch drawings. And obviously, you can zoom this up again. If I click in the background and zoom it down, you'll notice one of the things we also do is we capture the card itself, because oftentimes there's some indexing at the top, there's key punch information, there could be handwriting as you see, and this image also is captured in grayscale, so I can enhance it. And this allows you really to see the card itself, see that film image that's there. So it doesn't matter what kind of film types you have. Many of our clients have a mixture. In some cases, they have all three of these types. So we digitize them all, and we put it in to a very easy to use online application that can be implemented very, very quickly. I'll say this, because of the way we do this, jobs like this, conversion jobs, can be done very, very quickly as well. In terms of roll film, we only index by the roll label, and then we oftentimes apply that full text search, that OCR process to it. That's the extent of the indexing that we do. So it can be done very quickly. Current pace, we've had some projects lately where we've been doing and completing between 700 and 800 rolls a week. So we do have the ability to convert rolls very, very quickly. All right, going back out, I'll just open up a couple of these other microfiche samples. I think I've got some 35 millimeter here. Here's some poor quality stuff. And some district maps. Assessment district maps. So this is some 35 millimeter fiche. And again, any portion of these images can be banded and viewed and enhanced. So that essentially is a quick tour through the digital ReeL product. I showed virtually all of the potential document types that we can come across, shown you some of the functionality of the product. And Victoria, I think it's now time to open it up to some questions if there are any.
Okay, great. Yeah, we do have a couple questions here. The first question we have here is, what steps do I need to take to get started?
Oh, that's a great question. As I mentioned, I think next step would be doing some samples. And if you have roll film, send us 3 or 4 rolls. If you've got fiche, 8 or 10 fiche, we'd love to scan it put it up online, and then do another go-to-meeting just like this, more of a personal go-to-meeting specifically for your application, so you can see exactly how your material will look in digital ReeL. So anyone who has any interest at all, I would encourage you to get a hold of Beals and to have some samples sent in, and we'll get those turned around as quickly as possible. Typically, the samples take no more than a week, sometimes only a couple of days.
Great. The second question I have here is inquiring about if there's a rate chart or a fee schedule that we can provide anyone who's interested.
Absolutely. Beals is, I should define the relationship here. Beals is a dealer for the digital ReeL product back in New York, and can certainly provide you, anyone who's needing it, a rate chart for the conversion services that we're talking about.
Perfect. The last question I have is, do you offer a digital to archive writer film service?
Yes, absolutely we do. That's a common service that companies in our industry can provide, and yeah, I'd be happy to talk with whoever needs that particular service.
All right, great. Those are all the questions I have on my end.
Victoria, I wanted to show one last thing I realized that I didn't get to in the original demonstration. So, you know, some of these images are bad, and as you view them, you have to enhance to actually be able to read them. And one of the recent upgrades to the product is the ability to skip over this going back and forth between bitonal mode and grayscale mode. So when I'm back in film view, up here to the top right, I can actually turn film view into grayscale mode. So this helps, particularly with those clients who have some tough film. This helps you to find what you're looking for, because the entire roll film now is in grayscale mode, and you're not having to go back and forth. And many of our clients have found that tool there very, very useful in their searching. All right, with that, I'm done unless there are any other questions.
Nope, we have a couple inquiries for more information, so we'll be following up. And thanks, Brad, for everything. That was really great.
You're very welcome. I appreciate the opportunity to show you the product, and thank you everybody for your time this morning. I look forward to next steps with everyone, and hope you all have a good day.
Thanks.